Oh, well, hey, I didn't see you there. My name is Dr. Richard Honey, and I used to be a professor at Rancho University. And I'm actually, you caught me at a good time. I'm just getting some reading in on one of my favorite composers of all time. And his name is Josquin de Prez. And Josquin was born around 1450, and he was born near present Belgium or French Belgium, So, and Josquin grew up with his aunt and his uncle. His father passed away when he was just a young boy, so he didn't get that experience of a father. So he grew up with his aunt and uncle. And Josquin, as he began his career as a musician and a composer, he began in the French court. He was appointed into the French court, but during that time he was a choir boy in St. Quentin in around 1460. In fact, you maybe didn't know about Josquin. From there, he moved in with the Sforza family in Milan. Just something kind of interesting about him. Well, as we continue to look into his life, we looked at around the middle of his life. He had Josquin J. Actually was carved into the walls of the Sistine Chapel, which I thought was very interesting. Now, before Josquin left Italy, he composed two of his major works. He composed, El Grillo, and then he also composed, what's the other one called? I can't quite remember. Oh, it's called Domine Speravis. A pretty great piece of it, if you ask me personally. And so, a couple more things about Josquin. In the later time of his life, he moved from Italy to France. And while in his time in France, he composed a couple more major works. And in these major works, he composed this one piece that's translated as "Remember Thy Promise unto Thy Servant." And then he also composed another piece called Domine, which was in gratitude to the king. And so in the later time of his life, he ended up moving, and he became the provost for the collegiate, I must have read that one wrong. He said he became the provost for the Collegiate Church of Notre Dame. That's what it was, that's right. And then he was said to spend the rest of his life there in Notre Dame. Now, some other interesting thing about you don't really want to hear about this now, do you? You do? Oh, well, shucks. Well, I just got plenty more stuff to tell you about Josquin, and you know what? I might just even let you meet him now. So let's go find him. I think Josquin's in here in his office, actually. So let's make our way on in here. So now we just got to Josquin's office, and he offered to let us, ask him some questions. So Josquin, it's good to meet you. I'm Dr. Richard Honey, and I just a couple questions I wanted to ask you. The first thing I want to ask you is what do you feel like some of your greatest contributions to music were?
Oh, oui. I feel like I was probably the greatest composer of all time. I emphasized music and texture to text music, and I also created a lot of chromaticism and ornaments and musical freedom. Oui.
We might just now see if Josquin can, play one of these for us, because they're amazing.
Oh, I call this piece El Gorillo.
Now, Josquin was such an influential composer that even after his life, once he died, he was still influencing people. he was said that after the Renaissance, the Baroque period was still influenced by his music, and even the Martin Luther said that he was the master of notes, and that just blows my mind. But besides that, there were several parody masses made and they were made similar to his masses before, so that's just something that people did. And they made a few masses like Ave Maria, and they made Mente Tota, Miserere Mei, and they were all just very similar to what Josquin was writing. So in conclusion, Josquin was just one of the most influential composers of the Renaissance time, and we can learn a lot from just looking at his music and even looking at the influence he had besides that. So it was nice talking with you kiddos for a day, and I would just like to say thank you for sitting and listening to me. Have a good one.